He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Greetings, children of the night, and welcome to a very special new format, which is the Darkside Drive-In Intermission. All right, how was that?
That was spooky. I liked it. Yeah, that was good.
Oh,
Love
I
the
guess I need
energy.
to like introduce myself.
Yeah.
I'm Stefan. Howdy, and I'm joined by my compatriot here. That's your,
Hey.
that's your cue.
That's your cue. Usually I say your name, but it's fine.
You want me to say your name?
No, it's cool.
All right,
So-
Shane.
Yeah. Hey, it's me. I did it.
This has been a disaster. I'm never doing the intro again.
No,
I
it was
put-
good. I loved it.
I put all my energy into my Dracula.
Yeah.
Didn't have any of energy for the rest of it.
Oh my God. It was perfect.
Oh no, I can't believe you're going to use this, and I know you will.
Yeah. So if you're like, hey, what the hell's going on? This is kind of like our anniversary episode, right? Like a year. And we were talking with each other like, hey, how could we kind of change up some stuff to make it make sense for us, to make it sense for people listening to us? And we kind of settled on maybe, because we do talk a lot about stuff in the main episodes that we think we could probably like break off and kind of just riff off of when we, do like supplementary episodes, which we're calling the Intermission. So you're going to have to deal with us every week now. So pretty excited about it. We picked up a lot of new followers, listeners on socials and stuff. So appreciate everyone. Got a lot of really cool DMs. I've been invited to like some pretty cool like horror communities and stuff. So I've actually, Instagram's been pretty legit. I was kind of worried at first, but I've had all positive interactions so far, but probably because I filter my messages. So that's probably why. But
What does it mean to slide into someone's DMs? That's different from just DMing, right? Sliding into the DMs
I think it's when you trip.
Oh, well, when you fall into their DMs, then?
Yeah, like you're just like walking and DMing at the same time and you fall.
Oh, that's how I fall into manholes around the Pittsburgh area all the time. It is crazy how many times they just have open manholes.
There's chuds in there.
Well, maybe. I imagine they probably drowned because of the historic flooding we've had in that city lately.
Oh my God.
That's one way to get rid of your chuds.
Make a horror movie about that. Yeah, flood them out.
Yeah. So I think this is
bring them chuds up here. You can live in Carnegie.
I do like how during this like unexpectedly long hiatus and like kind of pulling the illusion away, because people are actually going to get our last episode before this one.
Yeah, true.
But this will be our first recording since that long break, because let's just say there were issues with the recording of Ghoulies 3. I have full faith that it turned out great, because I haven't actually listened to it yet, but I know that it's on the way to being done. But for us, this is like a triumphant return, like heroes of old.
Yeah, we took like a little mini vacation, I guess, of sorts. But back with bigger and better things. And I think I feel rejuvenated. I don't know if you've got enough brains to get you to stave off the pain, right? Little teaser.
Here's the thing. No, every day is pain.
Every day is pain.
And
not,
it only
not
gets
enough
worse.
Brains.
Not enough brains. No,
not enough brains.
But so wait. So we've called this new thing the intermission. And
Yeah.
We're gonna do like fun jokes about going to the concession stand, but I forgot to do them. Like
It's fine.
Like,
Ooh, go to the back to get the concessions from the movie.
Yeah, I think mine was,
We knew there were more than two of you in that car.
oh yeah, because of the
don't know.
drive-in aspect.
yeah.
Sure.
Hey, kids.
Like, what are you gonna do? Leave? Because here's the
Right.
thing: no re-entry. The Darkside drive-in is one way. Once you're here, you're here.
Yeah, you're never leaving.
Yeah, it's like the Hotel California, like that. Except we don't have the pink champagne on ice or whatever.
Yeah. And Joe Walsh is not hanging out with us. So, hey, kids. So, a drive-in, we probably should have started with this the first episode. There used to be theaters in a field, and you could pull your car into them, and then you could sit and watch movies. It was crazy. And the way they made money is they would charge you by the person in the car. So, any of us that had pickup trucks or SUVs, we would like stack all our friends in the back and put blankets and stuff on top of them and sneak into the drive-in. So you'd pay like $16 or something for like 10, like not 10, but like, 6 or 7 people. So
And he's over here joking about this, but they've all been destroyed now because of losing
we've
money.
run them all out of business. Yeah, right. That's a thing.
I mean, let's be real. I think that they probably made more money on the concessions, and it's not like the people you snuck
100%.
in were going to be like not getting concessions.
So yeah, I have very fond memories of drive-ins. That's why I was really stoked when we settled on the intermission name. I thought that's pretty funny. Maybe we'll do some Foley work and stuff.
I think the last movie I saw in the drive-in. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to have your entire world rocked? I think it was Jurassic Park.
Really?
I think it was the year 1993 was the last time I was actually at a proper drive-in.
That's crazy. So I grew up north of Pittsburgh in the Butler area. We actually had one in Butler. And man, I remember I might even have, I don't know when it closed, but I was definitely able to drive there myself. So
I thought the one in Butler still opens up during the summer.
It probably does. I want to say I actually saw like a newer movie there.
Yeah, isn't it off of Route 8, like heading north?
It's off of 68, 422 and 68.
Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of one. I think there's one off of Route 8 though. Like above that crazy toy store, it looks like a spaceship.
You're in the right area. It's just not Route 8. You have to go on Route 8 to get there.
Okay. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking of when I used to come back from Indiana. Different things. Different times.
You make different turns, but you're in the right area. So. That's been our Guess Where We're From podcast segment.
It's not like we aren't vocally from Pittsburgh. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We're definitely proud. We've got Tom Atkins, Tom Savini, a lot of Toms.
Some good Toms.
Romero's. And in our next episode, you'll be hearing shortly after this one.
Might be covering some more, yeah.
Might be some other Pittsburgh greats coming through. So before we really get into anything, we did the creepy questionnaire on the last one, and I'm not going to spoil that. I'll leave that for the main episode. So, we did Spooky Taboo, and the forbidden words were shark, beach, and surfing. So if you still want to make a guess, head over to our socials, and that'll be posted, and you can interact. And I think last time we had a lot of people on Instagram, so. Yeah, find us, comment. But this time, I wanted to do one of the other games that we were talking about, which is the Spooktacular Stumper. What was it? Spooktacular Stumpers?
Spooktacular Stumpers, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Because we're hacks.
Because we're hacks.
We love alliteration and fake words.
And by this point, our next movie is going to be Return to the Living Dead. So there's going to be a theme for these. You'll pick up on it, but So the way this is going to work is I'm going to read a prompt, and Stefan is going to answer the prompt as many times as he can before the timer runs out. And the point is he's trying to show off. So that's kind of what we're going for here. But so I'm going to read the prompt, and then you answer this prompt. It has multiple answers, so you can answer it as many times as you can. No penalty for not getting it right. We're just trying to spark your creativity here.
Is there a rubric so I know how many points I can score?
It's out of 7,000.
Hey, you remember rubrics? How about that?
Yeah, the cubes.
Okay. Yeah, when I was in grad school, I took a teaching college literature class.
Okay.
Well, I guess it was just teaching English at a college level. It wasn't like teaching college literature. But one of the main things about it was like creating a proper rubric, and it is harder than you'd think to like make a rubric that that covers everything. I remember that being a challenge for me. It was like harder for me to do that than to create a syllabus.
I can imagine, because like, how do you grade fairly, especially when I think some English so if you get into creative writing and stuff like that, it could be kind of difficult, right?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I guess that's the point though, is to like the rubric, you have to establish very clear criteria, like something that's measurable and something that, so that's like the point of it, is like you have to be very specific, because open-ended writing prompt is almost unfair to a student if they don't if you don't give them the clear criteria for success.
Fair enough.
So that's been teaching English at a college level.
The more you know.
There you go.
All right. You got your juices flowing? You ready?
I don't like that phrase, but yes, I do.
Are you the readiest?
I'm the readiest I've ever been.
Got to get that in there. Okay. So here's your prompt.
Okay.
And I'll tell you when to go.
Go where?
I'll tell you when to start, because it's going to be quick.
Yeah, what am I doing again?
Okay, I'm going to read a prompt.
Yes.
And then you're going to answer the question. So like here's
it's going to be like a question, and then I have to like, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's a stumper. Spooktacular one.
Well, I'll be the one who decides if it's spooktacular or not.
Okay, well, all right. So you need to name horror movies starring Linnea Quigley. And go.
All right. Night of the Demons, Return of the Living Dead, Creepazoids, Nightmare Sisters. I guess you consider that to be horror. What about Linnea Quigley's Slasher Size or whatever the exercise video?
Yeah.
Does that count?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh man. Sorority Babes and Slimeball Bolorama. I know I'm forgetting some big ones.
You made it the full 30 seconds. So
okay,
folks at home, I think you should try. See if you can do it. It's probably gonna be tough, because I probably should have told you to pause the episode beforehand. But hey, we're making it through this with you.
This is our session 0 of this idea.
Yeah, we're unplanned. So, cool. Well, like I said at the top of the show, this is kind of our year in review.
Oh my God, I forgot Silent Night, Deadly Night. We literally did the second one, and we saw her die in the clip.
We totally did.
This is
shit.
This is the worst I've ever felt in my entire life right now.
Was it spooktacular?
It was spooktacular.
Fuck yeah.
Man, I can't believe I forgot that. But you know what? I'm glad I was able to put in Nightmare Sisters and Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama.
I didn't know if you were going to do the Slasher Size one.
Is it Slasher Size? I know that it was something like that.
We all got it. We all knew.
Yeah, we've all seen it.
Oh, funny, man. So, like I said at the top of the show, this is our year in review, right? It'd be cool to like get together and maybe talk about some of the movies that we kind of went over, maybe our favorites, our least favorites. I'm going to start probably with one that was I don't say favorite. It's tough, but I love The Prowler. I think if anyone's listened to this show, they know that I'm absolutely obsessed with that movie. So, I don't know. Did you have a favorite one that we've done so far?
Oh man, that's tough. I had my love of Killer Clowns from Outer Space like reawakened
Yeah.
by us covering it. I was surprised by how well it held up, you know, just like and how funny it is in a lot of ways. I'm very excited for the video game that's coming out soon. I don't know if you knew about that asynchronous. I think I brought it up, the asynchronous multiplayer game. It's finally coming out. Well, here's the thing. I'm kind of worried about it now because it looks like the two main characters, the male and female lead, are locked behind like a pre-order bonus. I'm like, why would you put the main characters as a pre-order bonus? I'm like, modern video game like sales is a nightmare.
I agree. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you know, with the asynchronous multiplayer, that's a pretty saturated market. And not saturated in terms of like there's a lot of people playing either. So there's a lot of games trying to grab a very small niche market of players. So I'm a little concerned, but I think it'll do well initially. If they're able to, if they can nail the crossplay. I think that was the problem with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is you couldn't play with anyone else because of the hackers. So, we'll see.
And then I had the Evil Dead game. And that one, unfortunately, they've already announced that they aren't updating it anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But they are still updating, surprisingly enough, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one.
But it's still not crossplay, right? They cut that?
That, I think, I don't know if the crossplay's back.
Yeah.
But they recently put Barbara Crampton in it, which was pretty cool.
Awesome.
It's awesome to see, like, I mean, she's in so many things nowadays. It's not like, it's like, oh, it's awesome to see Barbara Crampton still being in stuff. It's like, no, she's in tons of things. But it's just cool. Like, it's just fun how she'll like just be in like 1 minute, you know, Suitable Flesh, like a Neo Stuart Gordon style, like movie. And then on the other hand, go ahead and be in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. Why not?
Yeah. They got the old Crampster in there. So,
I don't really agree with that. That sounds so weird.
So I'll start this one off, like biggest letdown of the year or biggest movie flop. I think definitely Death Ship. So much promise. And I chose it, so I'm sorry to anyone that watched it. I still have friends text me like, why did you do this to me? So
you really let down America on that one, my man.
I know, I did. Yeah. Yep, the war's still going on, I guess. So I don't know. How about yours? What was your big letdown?
Oh man. Like big letdown in terms of the movie being not good, or big letdown because I was gonna say the big letdown for me would be in Maniac Cop when my man Tom Atkins got killed.
Yeah, it was rough.
But in terms of movies, I know that we have to do a reevaluation of it, but man, the Supernaturals with the cast and with like the premise.
Come on.
It was a bummer for me that it was so poor quality, and I really do want to watch the DVD that you have so that we can like redeem that thing. Are you mad because I chose another movie that you chose?
Yeah, kind of. But I actually like Supernaturals, so we'll have to watch it. I know we keep saying that, but it is in definition now. It's not high definition. It's just in some definition.
Pretty much any amount of definition beyond what we were given would be a higher definition.
It's so bad. There are literal points in that movie where you cannot tell who is who, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
So, I think I wanted to talk about we do the McMurder of the movie.
We do,
and I think we would be missed. There would be a missed opportunity for us to skip over like the best kills of the year. I know that's a tall order because there's so many. And I'm going to try not to pick a Prowler one because that pitchfork scene is just so cool.
It is so good.
It's so good. So I think we'll leave that, like the Prowler wins. So we'll just put it up on top. But man, that steamroller kill in Maximum Overdrive still sticks with me sometimes.
I think about it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid just got like mowed down.
Like toothpaste. So that one's probably going to do it for me. I don't know about you, but I think about, I mean, I'm not like, pining over like running kids over with steamrollers, but You get it.
Even if you are, definitely don't say that on our podcast.
Yeah, right. Now the world knows.
Yeah. Yeah, not like you can edit this out. So yeah, I guess, man, that's hard.
Yeah, what a sociopath move, or psychopath, I guess, where I'd just leave that in if I like was thinking about it.
Yeah, you say horrible things and then just leave it in because, like, what are you gonna do? Arrest me? I haven't acted on these impulses yet.
Big Richard energy.
Stop it. So I guess it's better if you say it that way, at least. Yeah, but no, I think that one of the ones that sticks with me is probably in Slithis.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm probably thinking of either any of the ones that he's doing on a boat. So you have the one where he like offs that dude and then murders that chick, and then there's the when he like does the business to like the two boat hands later on in the movie when they inexplicably decide to go below deck and leave their two boat hands up above. And the reason is because that movie is rated PG, and we've talked about it on the podcast how they just put all the cuts they made to get the PG rating back in, and the MPAA just never checked. But it's just so jarring to see like how gore, like these people are getting absolutely disemboweled by this sea monster. So it's got to be one of the Slithis kills. I won't commit to one specific one, but just how gory those are, considering that they've still to this day never fixed that rating.
You know, that is crazy to me, especially with how conscious those rating boards like have become, and maybe it's stuff like that kind of pushed them to that. But you know, I think that's a wild PG. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that leads us right into our next segment. Best creature.
But also in Demon Wind with the cow skull.
Oh
with the tongue.
My god, that was pretty wild.
Or the girl. I was gonna say the girl gets turned into a doll and says, "You lied," but of course she dies later. So she does. Right. That's not her dying. That's just her getting babalitied.
Babalitied.
Yeah, from Mortal Kombat. You remember those?
Yeah, friendship.
Yeah. They brought friendships back in the last game. I wonder if they'll bring them back in this one, or did they bring? Was it the last game they brought them back? I think
those are funny. I like the friendship ones. I think they're hilarious.
Have you played the new DLC characters they've been releasing? Because
I have not.
I played Peacemaker. He rules. John Cena rules. And then I was playing Ermac, and he has some of those brutalities I've ever seen. It's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know Peacemaker was the new one. That's got to be pretty awesome.
He was actually the last character. The newest one is Ermac. Ermac was just released this month. I think last week maybe.
You know what movie I just watched with John Cena in it?
Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki, man.
Yeah, it's on my list. I haven't gotten to it yet, but
I won't spoil it, but it's better than it should be. I'll just leave it at that. So take that with a grain of salt, but it is.
What has
John Cena saves that movie, by the way.
What's his nuts in it?
Zac Efron.
I think he's really funny. I think he pulls off comedies. I like his comedies more than I like his dramas. And I say this with a caveat: don't go on your keyboards and start adding me, because I will say that I haven't seen Iron Claw. I've heard his performance in that is revelatory. So I'm just saying, on the whole, for Zac Efron's career, I find him to be much better and more charming as a comedic performer than as a dramatic one. Yeah,
I mean, he's great. And in this, you know, Ricky Stenicki, he does both a little bit. Like there's a couple scenes where he really kind of turns on the actor. You know, and I think he does a great job. But Andrew Santino, just awesome. He's funny the whole time. I think he's hilarious. For those of you who don't know who that is, he does the podcast with Bobby Lee. So he's the Irish gentleman.
The dude from that Little Dicky show.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. So pretty cool stuff. I want to do, because you and I both are fans of creatures. I think Slithis is a great segue into best creature of the year. And mine goes to Slithis. I'm sorry. I think I'm stealing your thunder. I'd have to assume yours is Slithis too. But I don't want to speak for you.
No, I was going to do the werewolves having intercourse in Howling 2.
Oh man, that was my next category. I'm not kidding you. I had like best Best sex scene was, and it was gonna be the werewolves.
Oh, well, that wouldn't be my pick for that.
I'm kidding. I would never bring that up.
But
I would never bring that up every time I talk about it.
yeah, we did finally just get you over that after months of therapy. But no, I might have to go with probably. This is hard.
Look, no one's gonna be mad if you say Little Piranha Guy, because that could have been
Little Piranha Guy. So I'm kind of torn between a couple of things.
Sure.
One is just as a collective, the Video Dead zombies, just because they all have like distinct personalities, and I really love that about them. But yeah, I don't know, but also just that big clown that was like trying to get the little girl to come out in front of the restaurant. I think about that one a lot from Killer Clowns.
It's good.
So, but a chud. I do love
chuds. Are good, man.
I do love my chuds.
I feel like though when they went in the second one and ruined the chuds, it kind of killed it.
I guess, yeah. I guess the best creature is probably the Nazi ship in Death Ship. That's probably the
Come
best.
on.
The best one. The best damn one.
You just admitted that the ship was evil.
I've long since surrendered that point. But no, I'm actually going to go with Angus Scrim from Phantasm.
Okay.
Does he count as a creature?
For sure. Yeah.
Because if it's not him, then it's going to be just the zombies as a collective from the Video Dead. Because I do, and if I had to pick one of the zombies from the Video Dead, I'll probably go with the Bride, because she is so mean, looking at such a funny way.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say Bride from Video Dead. I'm saying it. Let the record show.
Okay. All right. So I guess the last topic I wanted to cover was any honorable mentions or like any movies that surprised you, because I have one big one, but I didn't know if you wanted to, if you had anything that was like you did not expect the movie to be that good. And I know a lot of times you've seen a lot of these a couple times, but
so it has to be good.
No, just something that was like, you know, something that you're just kind of like, hey, just wanted to shed light on this movie, or you know, maybe it was better than you thought the first time, or you know, you would recommend someone to check out that they normally wouldn't watch.
Okay, well, I guess I'll say two things. One, a movie that I expect to be as underwhelming as it was Piranha. Yeah, I really think that Slithis stole its thunder in a big bad way. Mm-hmm. And I think there are better options for Piranha, and I really am disappointed that they like absolutely blueballed us with that claymation creature and then just never followed through on it. But if it's like good, man, I might have to go with. Because I already knew Maniac Cop was good. I just forgot how good. But I might go with the Video Dead, because the Video Dead is one of those ones that like no one really talks about. And I think that movie is just phenomenal. I think it holds up so well. And I totally recommend that if you can watch it, do watch it. It might have been taken off of Tubi. Let me double check, because I thought it left Tubi. Yeah, it's gone from Tubi now, but it is available on Fios On Demand, Xfinity Stream, and on the Roku channel. So if you have Fios or Xfinity and then those services, or if you have a Roku, it's out there. It sucks that it fell off of Tubi. That's a huge bummer. I personally blame their new corporate leadership for this, as I've mentioned before, but that's a bummer. But yeah, Video Dead. I'm going to go with that as the surprise for me.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to also go with Video Dead.
No, you're not. You're going with Prowler, and you know it.
No way. I think, look, Prowler, I think, is the most underrated slash movie of all time, but people still know about it. I sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just go on Tubi and I'll pick, like when we were kids at the movie store, I look at the artwork and I'm like, hey, this looks awesome. And I just add it to my list. And
I love that.
Yeah. And I'd love to thank Tubi, because we never would have watched it. We never would have done this had we not, you and I were streaming. Like, I think I was streaming my screen, or you were, and we're looking at videos, and we're both like, oh my God, this looks amazing. And we clicked on it. But sometimes it does bite you in the ass like Death Ship. But yeah, I really, man, The Video Dead was such a good movie.
You beat yourself up about Death Ship so much.
There isn't any amount of corny apologies over music that I could do. I get back everyone's time.
I know there were real reasons. There were real reasons for the hiatus we took there.
Yeah.
Like real actual reasons. But I like to think that it's actually just your like buyer's remorse from
just crippling sorrow.
You just needed time to overcome the blow to your ego.
It did me in.
Sorry,
yeah, that was the last. That was our last episode, wasn't it?
It's the last one we released, yeah. Because right now,
God.
like behind the curtain of this new show we're doing, we haven't actually released our Ghoulies 3 episode yet. That's coming soon. So, yeah, our last episode out there currently now to you and I is Death Ship. So that's why it's funny that it seems like that like did you in.
I mean, honestly, it probably did because that movie was rough. I mean, that was. There's a solid 25 minutes of just them showing pistons. So,
don't you love how engines work? But no,
honestly,
sorry,
just watch the first 20 minutes and the last 30 and you should be fine.
But I kind of stepped on your toes while you were talking about The Video Dead, which, sorry about that. If you want to go.
No, you're good. Look, my only point is, we are in a golden era of streaming right now where we're able to access titles like this for free. And I would highly recommend spending time just kind of perusing the catalogs. And if anything on there strikes your interest, just watch it because we're, pretty soon, I don't think we're going to have the ability to watch all this stuff for free. So,
yeah, I really think that Tubi is on its way. It's like become bigger than I think it's just starting to have the Netflix effect where it doesn't really understand where its bread and butter is. And it's starting to do like a lot of original content and all that stuff. So I think that we might be seeing Tubi kind of slip, but as always, we'll be watchful for the other free services. Like I've always got an eye on Pluto TV. I've always got an eye on Plex. So we'll keep an eye out for those free streaming services to make sure that we're trying our best to give people, access to the movies we do for free.
Cool. Yeah. Doing the Lord's work. So I guess, I know you and I have other interests outside of, 70s, 80s, 90s horror movies. I didn't know if you've caught any good movies recently or anything kind of catch your eye.
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to talk about it?
No, that was it. Thank you. All right, next segment.
Okay, so I just got done talking about how I don't like the idea that Tubi is doing like it's like original content, but I actually did watch one of their original movies and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was kind of surprised by that. It is called Festival of the Dead, or no, Festival of the Living Dead, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check because I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, Festival of the Living Dead. It's like a brand new like Tubi like original, and it's kind of interesting because the idea of it is that the 1968 Night of the Living Dead thing was real. Like it actually happened. The zombies were destroyed and life went on. But out in the wilderness, like they started a thing called the Festival of the Living Dead, which is where people go out and like listen to bands and party and stuff like that to celebrate every year the anniversary of that event. And it's like the kind of thing that you would expect from like a cynical commercial society like ours to do, is to do something like that. And the whole movie is about, modern era youths going to this festival. And then lo and behold, zombie outbreak happens again, like another Night of the Living Dead scenario. So it's actually surprisingly good. Some of the characters are a little bit one dimensional. But one thing that I really appreciated about it is that it really didn't like hold any of its characters sacred. Like you're going to see people that you would expect to go through the entire movie, take a heel turn and turn into jerks and get killed, or like just innocent people get killed. It's just interesting. A lot more daring than I would have expected from, just a Tubi original movie. So give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
And then the other movie that I wanted to talk about briefly was actually, it had a brief theatrical run, but it just came to Shudder this past weekend, which was Late Night with the Devil. if you saw any advertisements for that. It's the movie where David Dastmalchian plays a talk show host in the 70s. He's like apparently like trailing behind Johnny Carson, and he's like desperate to get those ratings up. So he ends up having an evening where he hosts a girl that is possessed by a demon and decides to have that demon come out and do like a demonstration on live television. So shot in the 70s like style, like they do it kind of like a found footage thing where the entire thing is the duration of the show after a brief intro that's narrated by Michael Ironside. So keep that one in mind.
Awesome.
Yeah. So like there's a brief intro that kind of sets it up, and then it's basically like, here's the recording of this event. And then during the commercial breaks, you get to see the behind the scenes stuff where people are like talking about what's happened, or you see like some of people's motivations or true characters kind of come out. It's just like a really interesting movie. Is it scary? Not really. There's a couple moments that kind of gave me the creeps towards the end, but it's more just interesting. And one of the things that I really liked about it is David Dastmalchian. He's been for a really long time, I think, kind of like put in the corner as more of a character actor. I think ever since his first appearance, and I think he first appeared in The Dark Knight as that one guy who was dressed as a cop who tried to shoot Gordon. And since then he's played like kind of creepy dudes in a lot of things. Recently he was in the last voyage of the Demeter and stuff like that. He often plays like kind of creepier guys. So I was like, does this guy have the range to play like a talk show host? Like, you need to have a certain amount of, that pizzazz, that kind of like, light, comedic quality to him. And man, he kills it. He's so good. Like, I don't know why I ever doubted him. Like that's, I think that, and that's probably not fair to him to say that I didn't think he had the range for that. Cause I really liked his sad sack character in the Suicide Squad, if I'm being honest, Polka Dot Man. But I was like, I just didn't know if he had this dimension to him. And I'm like, he does. So I'm really hoping that this is a huge thing for his career and that his career keeps moving forward. Cause that was just, man, what a performance from him in that. So highly recommend it. Yeah. Highly recommend it. If you have Shudder, obviously what are you doing? You should be watching it right now. If you don't have Shudder, I think they have like free trials. Grab a free trial, watch that, watch some other stuff that they have on there. Really interesting movie. I liked it a lot.
Nice.
I talked for way too long about that. I'm very sorry.
No, you're good. So I think before we get into our last segment, last little thing, we won't do this every time, but last little thing about us, and this kind of maybe we asked a couple of our friends for a Q&A, and I really would like to try to interact with everybody more. So if you do have questions for us, I'll throw a thread up probably the week before we record. That way we can collect the questions that we want, and then we'll try to answer them. And my only ask is that if you're going to sign it, or just give me like a pseudonym or something, or how you want us to address you in the show. So I know some people don't like kind of being doxxed on air, but some people don't care, which is fine. But yeah, so if you have any questions for us, or have anything that maybe you want to get our opinions on, or you're like, hey, why don't you guys do this, or why don't you talk about this, or why don't you do these movies, let us know. We're happy to talk about it. And sometimes like suggestions, like we're getting suggestions from people still, and the movies are great, so thank you, keep them coming. But I'm going to kick it off. I have one question for you, Stefan. What is it about 80s horror movies that like do it for you? Because like you have a lot of choices. Like what draws you to the 80s specifically? Like, because like 90s horror movies are great, 70s are great, but there's something special about the 80s. I just didn't know if you had like a concise answer for what brings you to that genre.
Oh, concise answer. Well,
no, I'm teasing you. Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah.
I think I've touched on it before a little bit. But one of the things about that is that was like the emergence of like the home video market in a big way. Like you had VHSs before that, but it was like the movie rental places and everything like that. Like that market just boomed throughout the late 70s into the 80s. and it opened up a lot of opportunities for people that didn't have huge budgets, that weren't part of the studio system, like new voices to get in there and have their visions come to life. And a lot of times, even to this day, a lot of times the easiest kind of movie to get made is a horror movie, because it's usually like a low threshold for entry in terms of budget. The stories can be a little bit more tropey. There's a lot of shorthand there that you can lean on in order to get to the parts of the story that you want to focus on. And then, there's also the practical effect thing, which is, it's kind of why by the time you get to the late 90s, I'm kind of like ready to check out, because that's the beginning of like the cheap CGI and stuff like that a lot of these other movies with like their practical effects, they don't have to lean on that as much. So I think it's kind of a convergence of factors like that, like, the home video market, a lot of new voices coming in there, the practical effects thing about it all. And yeah, and like sometimes the acting isn't amazing, but like there's so many filmmakers here that a lot of the directors, I think, are really dedicated to their casts and their crews, and they would often like have them come back for other movies, or like if they're working for a specific studio, like I know that Roger Corman would reuse a lot of like actors and actresses, and Charles Band would do the same. Stuart Gordon would do the same. So like a lot of these like big names were really loyal, even though they didn't have huge budgets, they were really loyal to the people they worked with, which I think is really nice to see in a traditionally cutthroat industry, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I definitely appreciate that answer. And I think I echo a lot of it. I guess like we're a product of our generation, right? I kind of feel bad that a lot of younger people don't have the opportunities to kind of live that, movie store rental lifestyle. But at the same time, like all the streaming now that's available, like it just blows my mind sometimes when we have access to some of this stuff for free. So I guess it's a give and take. But no, I appreciate the answer.
So yeah, here's a question from a friend of ours, Chris, who's I think we asked him in like one of our group chats or something like that.
Yeah.
And he asked the question, a pretty succinct one actually. When are you going to do the other Phantasm movies?
It's a great question.
Yes. And I'm really glad that we were able to facilitate this apparent love of the Phantasm films for him.
He housed them.
Yeah, he was talking to us about how he was like went through. I think he said what number 2 wasn't available on Tubi, but like all the other ones were available. So he just like went through. Right. It's like good. That's probably for the best. I've heard terrible things about the second Phantasm, but kind of the thing about doing direct sequels, and since sometimes we do the sequels here, like we've done Howling 2, we have done Ghoulies 3. Sometimes we do different movies in the series just because I pick ones that as long as it's not like dependent on a central storyline, we can just do whatever we want to do. But kind of going back to doing other films in the same series, I kind of want to steer clear of that until we've explored a lot of variety. So something like getting back into the Phantasm thing, I love me some Angus Scrimm. I can't wait to get back to the Tall Man. But there's like so many things out there from other series that we could like grab one of, all the way to like other random one-offs. Like we talked about some of the fun gems we found along the way. And I think that going back to doing direct sequels or prequels to movies that we've already done will probably be something we do a little further down the line, once we've really stretched our legs and kind of gone around, taken a stroll all the way through the 80s to the early 90s to the late 70s. Once we've really stretched our legs, then we can probably come back to some of the series that we've done, because I've said it before, I want to do Ghoulies 2. I love Ghoulies 2. So there's other movies and series that I want to do more of them. So it's not,
I had a
sorry,
what?
Ahead,
sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I had a very intrusive thought creep into my brain.
Well, let it out, or it'll
something
consume your brain.
And you said the thing about along the way. It's like, it's not about the destination. It's about all the friends you killed along the way. It's a
good one.
Yeah, it's very dark. Sorry.
Well, this is the Darkside Drive-In After Hours.
No,
It's not that.
bad. Get a squirt bottle and squirt yourself. We're not doing this.
Okay.
Not a fucking smut show. Jesus. Oh my God. What would have been next year? We'll talk about what would have been if we'd have done after hours. Sure, people don't want to hear us get trashed on a podcast and ramble on for an hour and a half.
No, no one wants that.
But so if you have any questions, just hit us up on social. You can find us at the Darkside Drive-In on most platforms, or Darkside Drive-In if that's not working, depending on which asshole store and name. But I will say, if you don't want to comment on a thread or something, just DM me. I'll actually answer it. A couple people have done that on Instagram where they don't want to post something. They'll just tell me, hey, I liked something you did, which is cool. Like, I appreciate it. Meeting some cool people. So again, thank you all for the support. It means a lot to us, but I really want to do something. This is like our last segment. We're going to probably close the show each time with this. Something near and dear to our heart is reading off what's leaving Tubi.
Oof.
And it sucks, but sometimes they come back. But I feel like
Sometimes they come back.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So I think we should get into that, because like sometimes these movies leave and we never see them again, and it's terrible. So
Yeah, so I kind of picked a cross section of just stuff. There's Tubi is hemorrhaging a bunch of content here at the end of the month, so it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going. So I kind of picked a cross section of ones that stood out to me. If you have others that you want to bring up, by all means. Fortunately, it doesn't look like any of them are ones that we've done. So, but there are some that I was planning on maybe doing. So that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully they either come back or end up somewhere where we can get to them. But okay, yeah. So really quick, running through the ones that I put down here. I have Tombstone. If you're a Rob Zombie fan, both House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects are going to be gone. You little freaks. Big Trouble in Little China.
no.
Yeah, it's a drag. But here's the thing. Here's a big one. This one hurts. The Thing.
No, really?
The Thing, yeah.
Oh man.
John Carpenter's opus, dude. Probably one of the best horror movies ever made. Fortunately for me, I do have it on Blu-ray, but it's just a bummer to not have it on streaming for the masses to enjoy. Another one that hurts my heart quite a bit, Gremlins and Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
Did they leave 3 on there?
There is no third Gremlins.
Oh, I thought I get you.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
The People Under the Stairs, which is one that I kind of wanted to do at some point, so hopefully it shows up somewhere else. Both Tales from the Hood and Tales from the Hood 2. So bummers there. I put down Striking Distance because it's everyone in Pittsburgh's favorite Bruce Willis movie filmed on the rivers of Pittsburgh.
It's such a weird premise.
The Raid. So that's a bummer to see The Raid go. Let me see. This one I thought was funny. It's all 4 of the Honey movies.
Okay.
Do you remember Honey, like with Jessica Alba, I think was in it?
Yeah.
I didn't know there were 4 of them, and they're all leaving.
I didn't either. Is she in all of them?
No, certainly not. Her star, okay. Yeah, her star had risen by then. I don't know who they put in them, but it's not her. And then the last one is The Lighthouse.
Really?
Absolutely devastating to see The Lighthouse go.
It's not good.
Are you saying really because you don't like The Lighthouse? Because
No, I can't believe that it's leaving.
Yeah, I'm bummed about it. I was fond of their lobster.
Okay.
You're fond of me, lobster. I seen it.
Lobster. Oh boy. Well, RIP to some real ones. F's in chat. However you want to go about paying your respects.
Press X to pay your respects.
Pour one out for these homies. Hopefully gone in our listings, but never in our hearts. And we'll catch you next time you come to Tubi, hopefully soon. But maybe you can answer this. Some of these movies leave and within days are back on Tubi.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't really know the business of anything. I don't know any business.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that part of it is probably like licensing stuff. Like maybe like the production companies are like shopping them around and are seeing if they can get a better deal. And when they can't, they take whatever Tubi is willing to offer them. And then Tubi's budget, like I said, they're doing a lot of original stuff. Maybe their budget has gone down. They're just not willing to even pay to keep some of these niche things around, which is a bummer for those of us who live in that niche world.
Right.
When they decide to cut your niche out. But yeah, no, I think that it's probably a combination of circumstances like that.
Gotcha.
Hello, fiends and ghouls. Take a moment, go to the concession stand, get yourself a Mr. Pibb. Why not? Perhaps.
And some Skittles.
Perhaps some Skittles. They might even have sour Skittles behind the counter if you know what to say to ask.
Those are rich people ones. We don't go to those ones.
The sour Skittles? No, thank you. Next thing you tell me they have Warhead gummies? Get out.
Have you ever had a drive-in hot dog? Because I haven't, and I've always wondered how old those hot dogs were.
Well, that's the thing about hot dogs is it doesn't matter. They last for an eternity.
That's a true horror movie. Like that stupid Seth Rogen movie where they play the... What was that stupid movie where they're all the food?
Oh, Sausage Party?
Yeah, Jesus.
Ugh, that movie is gross.
Oh, man. But
way to bring down the attitude for our outro here. This is,
yeah,
we'll have to work on this.
Yeah, we'll nail it, folks. It took us like a couple episodes to get a good cadence on the other stuff. So we'll nail this non-topical episodes. But well, I think that about does it. I just wanted to just kind of catch up with everybody and get everyone back into the spooky atmosphere. Also, I can't use Stay Spooky because like literally everybody else says Stay Spooky, and I thought I was being original, and boy was I wrong. So we'll have to come up with a new outro phrase. I don't know.
Spook 'em up.
Spook 'em up, Dano. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Say stay peeled.
Stay peeled. I love that. I think that's it. That's it for me, right? That's my sign off.
That's your sign off.
You can make your own. So
I think mine's just me doing like moans. Like,
it is true. We should make a t-shirt that says ooh, Stefan. So, but I've been Shane.
And I've been Stefan, and this has been
the Darkside Drive-In Intermission. Ooh. Chain rattle. Werewolf howl.
You know, I could add all that stuff, but the verbal cues of it are, I feel like, more effective.
Skeleton clatter.
Skeleton xylophone.
All right, we got to stop this.
Yep. Stay peeled for our next episode, Return of the Living Dead. You should be hearing that soon.
Brains.
He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the Darkside Drive-In Movie Club. From Dynamis Media comes a horror cyclopedia, watching movies from the gates of hell. Covers ripped from a blockbuster shell. Officer Bosch is the only good car. Jumps and the stuff just can't be stopped. Things get hairy and the werewolf's there. Turn the corner and the prowler is there. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club. Shane's the one who runs the show. He produces and keeps the flow. The Savini of the ones and twos. Only Jack Cordell has bigger shoes. Stefan does the bulk of the research. His descriptions just can't be besmirched. Lots of synopses are the top of lore. Just like lamps and you'll be begging for more. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club.